I'm okay with the lack of context, but at the same time, I desperately want to know the context. My sister went on a date, and instead of flowers, the dude brought her a sword. A sword that screams whenever you swing it, and the volume is directly tied with how fast it swung. Finally, a good post. Great for Vikings, not great for ninjas. European swords are the best. No, the katana is the best. Spears, yep. Live by the sword, drive by the sword. I met a homeless guy, gave him a meal and a place to sleep. In return, he gave me a sword. Hey, how many swords do you have? Sort of a lot. Blocked. Parried. Guys in the UK can't carry guns, so they walk around with swords in their pockets. Empty wrapping paper tube exists, everyone. This is a good sword. When you can't explain to a neural network what is two-handed sword, when the cool sword has bad stats, they're putting chemicals in the fire that turn the frigging swords gay. Swords, invented during 1600 BC. People before 1600 BC. Stop your work and notice me. Amazing craftsmanship. Portland driver threatened with sword, calmly walks to trunk and gets rifle. Funniest weapon to get stabbed by. It's so funny getting stabbed, guys. Let's stab this guy, let's see how funny it is. Colonial kings. They dumped my tea, take their guns. Medieval kings. Personal protection is important. Find those not carrying a sword or other weapon. In case you writers ever wondered. Made by Carrie Patrick on Facebook. The object comparisons are things of an equivalent weight. Not things you can cut with the sword. Just saying so to preemptively stop cursed comments. You think that's gonna stop the cursed comments? Do not unsheath me without reason. Do not wield me without valor. Man stabbed with the Legend of Zelda Master Sword in serious condition. Okay, but this is how I want to go. If you read in the article, he wasn't stabbed. He literally walked into the blade thinking it was a toy, and not that it was a replica sword. He walked into my sword, officer. Konnichiwa! I said, open the goddamn Cheesecake Factory. Get the reddest red lipstick by using this handy tool to harvest the blood of your enemies. Sword-wielding medieval knight vigilante takes on a street gang. You just destroyed them all. You're like, we're buying new guns and stuff. I got a new sword. I doubt anyone cares, but I just finished making my first sword. Because if you have to kill somebody, you better do it fabulously. Stabulously. Open carry law in Texas for knives and swords to begin in September. Runneth thy fade. I can't say that. Behold a sword. Hilt, guard. Used for cutting. Infinitely long blade. Sword girlfriend. Like your regular girlfriend, but with a sword. Sword girlfriend's got nothing on knife wife. Now this is a post. When you can only pay for one college tuition. Her. Why are you so excited? It's just a stick. The stick. Today is my 20th birthday. And as is family tradition, I now own a sword. A photographer took a picture before and after giving this woman a sword. Those are her victims in the background. Her health bar is enormous. Nudes are so 2017. Send me a photo of yourself in full plate armor wielding battle ready weapons. Baby, sword for scale. He will soon be one sword tool. Diver finds 900-year-old crusader sword. Congrats to him for completing whatever main quest he was on. Pose with your sword, the way guys on Tinder pose with fish. Okay, but what did you do to that Kirby? I just found out that the Korean Baseball League's championship trophy is a giant sword. Every other sports league on the planet needs to get their stuff together. I just wanted a 6-inch cold cut combo on Italian and this dude brought out his bunkai. It only took him 3 days. Good responses to getting stabbed with a sword. Rude. That's fair. Not again. Are you gonna want this back or can I keep it? Ancient sword of the Meth King, seized by Michigan police. I must retrieve the sword of the Meth King. Fellas, who's down for a quest? So, baby swordfish with a tiny sword. Have a nice day. Live by the sword, fry by the sword. Eat on the sword. This sword was found during the search of a vehicle earlier today in Slade Green. Thankfully, it's been taken off the streets. You're doing God's work, mate. Lost an ancestor to a sword just like that in the 13th century. Have any of you ever seen the Air Force's honorary sword? Chameleons are fun because they will grab anything you give them. Our friend's house key is shaped like a sword. Everybody wants to live in a police-free world until a bare-naked man with a samurai sword and a huge peepee starts chasing you down the street. Naked too, yeah, he's naked. Hunter finds 1200-year-old Viking sword. Needs a new grip, then it's as good as new. Kinda, not really. Chill, bro, no one's gonna take it from you. You don't come between a Danish man and his princess sword, let me tell you. Thief steals St. Michael's statue from church. Trips and is injured by the angel's sword. Whoa, is this your room? Amazing, I love swords. Please get out of my head, I know you're or not real. All night long, the sword on the wall above my bed has been rattling, and I finally woke up all the way and went, what? And turned on the light and found this. How the hell did he get up there? Antique Victorian perfume bottle in the shape of a sword. This katana made from 4 billion-year-old meteorites. It's called the Sword of Heaven. Yo, are you the sword guy? Yeah. Can you send me a picture? Me, absolutely twisted, coming home with a load of swords. Me, waking up the next day with a room full of swords. Sword requires years of study and practice. Spear, given the title King of Weapons by martial artists worldwide. Mace. Whack. Girlfriend told me I needed to stop buying irrational purchases. I have a feeling the boys will understand this one. Guys, it's the S made into a sword. Sir, this is the 21st century. You can't go to the war with armor and a sword. My honest reaction. Man requests sword fight with ex-wife and lawyer to settle legal dispute. Love this radioactive lime green gamer juice. You all make fun of horse girls and sword guys, like they couldn't just get married and give birth to a generation of fully armed cavalry. Amusing to watch my wife get upset over my $54 samurai sword when she had no problem spending $75 on groceries. Chainsaw sword. Ah, the tri-dagger. You need like 2 teams of surgeons to close the wounds, so you even have the chance to not bleed to death. Executioner sword with inscription. When I raise the sword, so I wish that this poor sinner will receive eternal life. Therapy is such a scam. All you need to do is buy a 5'6" Ziwi hander and swing it around your home now and then to feel better. Been doing it for years and I'm the very picture of good mental health. How swords work versus how most video game swords work. The girl that's never been treated right. A dog with a sword in his mouth that isn't related to the first picture, but it's a cool dog with a sword. Women don't want flowers. They want a claymore sword. Where are all these women hiding? Man sentenced to 4 months in prison for carrying a 6-inch master sword in public. Hope it's not that type of sword. The European sword is better in every way. No, the Japanese sword is superior. It has been folded over 1,000 times, you barbarian. The spear goes pokey pokey. Young girl pulls 1,500-year-old sword from lake. She is the chosen one to be the queen of... Where's she from? Sweden. Yeah, there we go. Queen of Sweden. Guns are the best. No, melee weapons are. Poland in the 18th century. Hear me out. Forget birth signs. What is your birth sword? Whoever pulls the sword is the meme king. Medieval scissors that would probably function as a dagger. Finding a stick like this. Bro literally got the best one. I'm not kidding. This is the best stick I've ever seen in my life. Finding a date. Difficult and time consuming. Makes you feel vulnerable. Buying a sword. Fast and easy. You will not feel vulnerable. Someone might see you and think, who is this cool person with a sword? I would like to have dinner with them. Historians. Fantasy weapons are so silly and unrealistic. Historical weapons. My parents are 25. This looks like a fine place to raise our children. Me. I will never financially recover. The 4 horsemen of home defense. When you need to childproof the house, but you're medieval as hell. Free sword, over 6 foot tall. Slay your enemies. It's a free sword. Had to fight the Amazon delivery guy for it, but I'm the leader of the Mandalore now. The main character, the NPC, who asks the main character to save the world because he can't. Category 9 stick alert. Who else remembers doing this as a kid? I would hit people on the head with it. To make a sword out of the blood of your enemies, you'd have to end 359 people to get enough iron from their blood to make a longsword. That's not that many people. Just woke up. What's the move? Anime character. Unsheath sword, sheath sword. The enemy. Seduce me with obscure knowledge of history. Nintendo and the Ottoman Empire existed during the same time. What do you guys think of my new sword? Cold. Huzzah! Medieval wars in reality. We're just gonna sit here for 2 years, and we'll sit out here for 2 years. Huzzah! Read the room, Jerry. While you studied the blade, I studied the blade too. We were classmates. Hey bro, is there any blade homework due tomorrow? 5,000-year-old crystal dagger uncovered in Liberian megalithic tomb. Dagger of full flowers. If someone gifted me a flower dagger, I think I would love them till the end of time. I scared the repairman. I'm not sure if it was the collection of bad katanas and knives, or when he had to move this decorative Eiffel Tower and realized it's a knife. Okay, that's really cool. It's a Eiffel Tower. Bro, I swear these characters carry the heaviest swords I've ever seen. The girl who travels alone with her magic ghost sword probably has an interesting life story. We should get a story about her. A Chinese bronze sword with turquoise-studded gold inlaid rock crystal hilt. Warring States period, 4th to 2nd century BC. Now that is a magic sword. Wow, it literally looks like a motherboard. Wow. At a university in Finland, doctoral candidates get a top hat and sword when they graduate. Messed around and copped a medieval weapon. Blacksmith. I'm almost done with this sword, I just have to work out the kinks. Sword. I like feet. Shut up. Today I learned Viking used the bones of slain animals when smithing new weapons, believing this would enchant the weapon with the animal's spirit. This actually made the weapon stronger because the carbon in the bones coupled with the iron made a primitive version of steel. Go away, egghead. It's because of bone magic. The sword or cutlass is completely encrusted with what used to be marine life. It has been x-rayed, and yes, the sword is there. It comes from a 1700s Dutch shipwreck found off the East Indies. Be me, Texan, law passed allowing sword open carry. Carry broadsword. Gets challenged to a duel with some scrawny white weeb with a katana. Call his sword trash and a waste of one sheet of metal. He jutsus and I just stare. Break his katana in two and run my blade through his neck. In 2023, archaeologists unearthed a 3,000-year-old Bronze Age sword in Germany. So well preserved that its octagonal bronze hilt almost still shines. Sword fight after man robs shop with sword, but shopkeeper pulls out huge scimitar, I don't know. I think it's scimitar. Michigan man stabbed with samurai sword after not buying what? I imagine you don't want to go out of your own way to buy some illegal substances for your boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever it may be you're in love with, and they try to kill you. Man arrested for claiming to have a thought-slaying license and carrying a 4-foot-long sword. Thought-slaying license, brother. You're too old to be acting like this, man. I would love to play with your sword. Oh, so sorry. That was my friend. Well, then excuse me, but I think your friend and I were talking. Florida man attacks mum's boyfriend with samurai sword over missing can of shrimp. There's other things which have been going on in this family. It ain't just about the shrimp. And I don't know how, but my mouse just dropped on the floor. I think that's the first time that's ever happened in recording videos. Ever! Wow, never done that before. I've spilled water on myself, my microphone's fallen over, my PC has shut down, it's not been recording, but I've never dropped my mouse on the floor. Buy your girlfriend a sword. She deserves it. Can we normalize proposing marriage with a sword instead of unethically sourced diamonds? Every culture invents the sword, fried dough, and fermentation. There's a basic human need to stab someone, and then have beer and donuts. That thing was too big to be called a sword. Too big, too thick, too heavy, and too rough. It was more like a large hunk of iron, and he still held it up. The guts on this man. No pun intended. The beauty of Sylvie's sword. Also, the runes. I feel like to make the sword go to its full potential, it would need some blood. The blood would need to fill up the inscription, you know, the text which is engraved onto it. This is my dad's sword, now mine. He made it when he was knighted. It's called Thunderbolt Iron and has meteorite fused into it. I carried it ahead of his coffin at his funeral with sword-holding service advice. Is this guy receiving a sword or is this guy receiving the sword? The two are boyfriends who live together and they just got the sword they ordered online. And the smaller guy unpacked it and the big guy is like, this is gonna look great on the wall over the TV. The sword breaker was a dagger that had slots cut along one side. These slots allowed it to be used to capture an enemy's sword. When the enemy swung his sword, the sword breaker would catch it in one of the slots. Then a quick twist of the wrist could break the sword's blade. Were swords expensive? Having a sword forged specifically for you was pretty expensive across history. However, there were other ways to get some steel. Inheriting, looting, spoils of war, buying a used sword, cheaper sword, theft, I guess. You've got strange women lying in ponds distributing swords. Also happens to be a basis for a system of government. A ninja with a sword assailed a US Army Special Operations Unit in California. Sword for sale, warning, might be haunted. This sword is from the 1700s. I got it at an antique store in my Mimo. Yeah, that's enough. I don't think I'm buying that for 150. I wouldn't take that off you for free if it's haunted. You shouldn't say might be haunted in the job post, okay? Might be haunted. It means I'm definitely not buying. This is a reminder that when Sir Terry Pratchett was knighted, he dug up his own iron ore, learned to smelt, smelted it, added meteorite iron, learned to forge, and forged himself a star metal sword, as you do. And then he put it away somewhere safe so he wouldn't violate any UK knife laws. If I ever run a post-apocalyptic campaign, Sir Terry Pratchett's star metal sword will definitely be a legendary item for players to retrieve. Replace the engagement ring with an engagement sword. Fun fact, the Vikings literally exchanged swords at a wedding. The man was supposed to break into his father's/grandfather's crypt, steal his sword, and give it to his wife when they got married. The woman gave her husband a brand new sword, and the woman was supposed to apparently hang on to this ancient sword and make sure that it was buried with her husband when he died. So yeah, engagement swords, or at least wedding swords, should definitely definitely be a thing. The legendary sword in the stone, often linked to King Arthur's legend, really does exist in a chapel in Italy. While considered a fake for years, recent studies show that the metal and style of the sword are consistent with the late 1100s to early 1200s. In the chapel, you can see what are said to be the mummified hands of a thief that tried to remove the sword. Was Medusa guarding the sword? I really think we should normalize sword gifting as a romantic gesture again. Oh, yeah, my dad was gifted a sword for his 40th birthday by my mum. It's like this massive, great long sword. It's huge. Can you imagine having someone go to the finest blacksmith they find to completely customize you a blade showing their undying love and respect for you? No, I just spilled water everywhere. What is up with this video? No! The Gujan has been described as the Chinese version of Excalibur. It was uncovered in a tomb and deemed to be more than 2,000 years old. Despite its age, the blade contained no rust and was sharp enough to draw blood when its edge was tested.